little whistle thing she does.
Yeah, no, the essential. I never really listened to Mariah Carey that much, but I mean, shit, all the famous stuff is like on repeat, like every store that I go to. So I don't have to listen
Yeah.
to Mariah Carey to know Mariah Carey, you know. So I definitely know what you're talking about with the whole whistle thing for sure.
Yeah, and if I wasn't sick, I could probably bust it out, but you know,
I got you.
break your eardrums.
There's like a parallel between me, like with me and Jessica. Whereas like on the first album, I'm on a couple of the songs. It's almost the same with the album in 2016, where she joined late in the recording process as well. And I know we all kind of come from like an indie background and like kind of folky stuff, so the melodic was always something that we experimented with and stuff. And then Jessica being like almost like a half vocalist with Andy, because they kind of split the duties. Makes sense for her to be also playing the instrument too. So I think it fits well.
Definitely.
Yeah, because my voice is very melodic, so she fills out this lyrical melodic presence, and I sound more like the guy from the Violent Femmes. So it helps us split the difference a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. I was gonna say, do you guys both collaborate on the lyrics, or is it like more of like a group thing, like everyone puts in their own lyrics, or is it all you, Jessica?
It's me and Andy, mostly Andy, but I'll throw in my little bit here and there. So we kind of like Frankenstein our songs.
Was this like the first band that you sing for, or were you singing for other groups before this?
No, I was in a couple other bands, and that's how Andy kind of like asked me to join the band because he heard my other band. But we all knew each other in high school, but like we knew each other separately. Like
Yeah.
Kerley is the first person I met when I moved to Mississippi, oddly enough.
Yeah, likewise for me. I had lived in Louisiana, excuse me, Louisiana most of my life, and then when I moved
Yeah,
to
both of us.
Mississippi, Jessica was the first friend I kind of had in like middle school.
Yeah.
So it's weird. It's weird how that happens. Where like we never really like stopped being friends, but then later on would be in the same band, and like I think the band nowadays is almost to its detriment. We're all too good of friends. Like,
Yeah.
where it's almost to the point to where it's hard to be productive, because when we're all together, we're just like, y'all want to just hang out and chill, or
And the next thing you know, we're like screaming on the floor, laughing.
Yeah.
And then you laugh and I laugh harder, and
Yeah, especially because Kerley is our engineer and producer, so it's not like we're paying for time in the studio, so we get together and watch YouTube videos and then play video games and hang out instead. Well, we should be more productive.
A 5 minute break.
Honestly, that's been a tradition since
Exactly.
high school, I would say. So at least we're
Yeah.
consistent.
No, that's cool. I mean, it's cool. You guys have a bond. You know, it's better. I mean, in hindsight, it's probably better than, let's say you guys just like found each other on like Craigslist or something like that, and you guys have to like force each other to like get along with each other.
yeah. I mean, there's bands out there that are so business, and I mean, like, why would you put a business to be in a ska band? You know what I mean? That wouldn't make any sense.
I feel
It's
you.
like we need
Yeah.
a third wave ska trumpet player. Serious inquiries only. We're trying to make this a thing.
Right.
I mean, we all definitely, I mean, at least I could speak for most of the band. We all take the music very seriously, and we're all very passionate about it, but at the same time, we get along with each other so much. And like I said, we're all really best friends. It's nice. It's nice having that. Yeah.
Of all the bands I've been in, this one gets together or gets along the best, I'd say. I like in maybe a dozen bands, there's always like the end because people can't get along, or there's there can be fights on stage or disagreements about the music and stuff. And I'm very fortunate that we've never had that in this band. This is
I can't imagine that ever being a thing.
I'll kill all of you.
Okay.
maybe Guillermo.
No, that's cool, because I've definitely heard of situations where it's good that that's not a factor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we don't scream. We just loop "Give Me Some Reggae" for 3 hours, and that's how we do it.
There you go.
Yeah,
Good
just
times.
memes.
You guys also mentioned that. Well, all of you have mentioned that you guys have all kind of been in the indie scene as well. You said you guys all have like another separate indie band, or
We used to. Kerley and I met playing in this old indie band from our area. We were pretty young, but it's been sort of defunct for a few years now. But me, him, and also our bassist Josh, sort of came over to this project from there. So that's kind of how we knew each other. And we also hung out with Jessica and gigged with her bands and stuff when we were in that indie band too.
Nice. What are the names of those bands? I wanna listen to them. Love indie.
Oh,
Well,
Come on, guys, give up the goods.
all right, so it was
I think we
across
should,
the Annapolis.
We should let that die.
Yeah.
Please let it die, Andy.
Are you guys
What was your band, Jessica?
Let that
We were
one die
very
too. Let it all die.
We were very young. It's not real. It's nothing. Yeah.
got you for sure?
Oh, but we're good now. So when we were 18 in these indie bands, it wasn't as good.
Oh,
But we got there.
I see what you're trying to say. I see.
yeah.
Sure.
I actually don't even come from like a ska or background. I was
you're
more of
the
like a metal.
metalhead.
Yeah, I was a metalhead and like into like grunge and alternative rock and stuff like that. The original basis for that indie band, one of my best friends, Derek Miller, he actually works on a lot of our art and stuff. I mean, we have so many like useful friends, like so many of our friends that, like we just know so many talented people and everything, and like our metal band was Defy Me, but we kind of are inactive as well. Like it's so hard to be in a band as an adult. As like I'm not speaking any hard truths all of a sudden, like it's an obvious thing, but
It's all good.
that's one reason why I'm like happy that we're able to continue on and like still make albums and like hopefully tour when shit gets back to normal.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really a harsh truth, but I feel like how you're saying it's hard to be in a band as an adult. Yes and no, because like it's hard when people in those bands are adults and they're trying to like and they're thinking about their band in like unrealistic situations.
Oh, totally, yeah.
But if they approach it as an adult, I feel like that's like the point where it's more manageable. And it seems like you guys all approach your band like adults, you know what I'm saying? Which is why you guys continue to do stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, exactly. Yeah, that's why we get along so well. I mean, yeah, like Kerley and our sax player both have newborns. Like if they can't do something because daddy duty calls, like that's completely understandable.
Right. Congrats.
Everybody sort of gets that same leniency.
Definitely. Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that band. This really dope ass indie band I just found out about like a year ago. They're called Winona Forever. You guys ever heard of them?
I haven't.
Can't say I have.
I'm gonna have to send it to you on IG. They're really dope.
Sweet.
All right.
Yeah.
Perfect.
What about Sharks Keep Moving? You ever heard of them?
Man, these are some badass names. No, I haven't
I
heard
was
of
about to
them.
say, I like that one.
I'm gonna send you guys them as well on Instagram.
I've been listening to a lot of like Snail Mail and Bully and Beach Bunny and those kind of indie bands, and there's some they don't really fall in any specific genre, but bands like Just Friends that sort of bridge that gap. They have these really tight syncopated horn lines, but it's not ska or funk or anything. Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so to tie it back to the beginning, if you don't mind, Planes came out in July of 2012. Who here right now in the Zoom call was all part of the album? Was it just you and Memo, or so far just you and Kerley?
Did I just get memoed here?
Yes.
What, are you in touch with my family from El Salvador? What's going on here?
I mean, man, all the Guillermos I know are all Memos, you know.
No, it's funny. Like Guillermo is kind of it's a tangent. I'm sorry, but Guillermo is kind of like a common name in my mother's family. She's from El Salvador, and I have a cousin named Guillermo. I have an uncle named Guillermo, and we had to call the other cousin Memo the whole time I was there because I was like, okay, my uncle is Geechee, whereas I'm not even gonna go what they called me. No, let's just
No, what is it?
Andy. We will talk later.
So actually, yeah, most of us here, it was just Jessica that joined in the album after. I feel like a lot of people sort of in high school, you start and you're not that great, but you jump around from a bunch of different bands until you get really good and stuff like that. And we sort of did that whole process while being in the same band, or at least being called the same name.
Yeah. So
we can, like, definitely when I look back at that first album, it's not really a cringe thing, but it's seeing how much we've grown since then. Like the new album, it's all of us collaborating, like me and Jessica writing lyrics, other people writing their parts. It's beautifully engineered by Kerley and all this stuff. And yeah, back in high school, we were learning how to do everything, and
after that came out, like I know, like I read that you guys did some gigging here and there. Was it just like local gigs, or were you guys touring before you guys hit the hiatus?
We did one tour, and it was sort of I guess every band has this kind of story. It ended with our vehicles breaking down and not getting to the last gigs and all that sort of stuff. And it was in hindsight, it's a good story, but yeah, at the time it was sort of a horror story, and because it was our first time out ever. But yeah, we didn't do a whole lot until very recently. This past year was actually going to be our best one yet. We had some festivals lined up. We were going over to Texas for SKA by SKA West. We had the Fest in Florida that everybody sort of gathers for. We're playing that with a bunch of great bands, which that one's still going on, luckily.
Yeah.
But yeah, we didn't do a lot of touring when we were younger, more recently.
And so I mean, if it's if it's too personal, it's fine. But like, what happened there with the hiatus? Was it just like a schedule thing, or was it just kind of like, oh, we'll come back to this later? Or?
Oh, it's not too personal. Part of it was people sort of going away for school, and really, Guillermo is the only original member of our horn section that's still in. The other original members are all rhythm section. One of our
with me forever.
Perfect. It's unfortunate, but our trumpet player was diagnosed with a form of cancer, and he recovered. But for a while, he also couldn't play trumpet, and then he moved and went to Berkeley for guitar performance instead because he couldn't play horns anymore. And yeah, basically, people got invested in different bands and things, and we didn't have the lineup to do stuff. We'd have to call fill-in horn players whenever we played any gigs. And then fortunately, we got Jessica, Brandon, and Nevin to round out the other half of our lineup. And it made us already just so much better, and it brought in so many new influences. But we finally had the solid lineup, and our lineup's been solid ever since they all joined. And yeah, this is really the first collaborative album that nobody joined in the middle of making, too.
That definitely lended to the album itself. Like, I mean, because a lot beforehand, like with the first two albums, was mostly just Andy sending songs and everyone kind of learning, going and recording it. Whereas, like, especially speaking from like more producer wise, stepped up and like really looked at like song structures and was able to collaborate with Andy a lot more this time around with like either adding parts, changing parts, and it just felt way more cohesive band wise. And it's not just me as the producer, but everybody had bits and pieces. And it actually felt like a real band this time. And not
definitely.
to put down the other two records that we have, but this one for sure has a bit of everybody in it versus where it, because Andy is a fucking ridiculous songwriter. He's got hundreds of songs just there. Like he could make albums after albums, but like I think this one's special because it is very much Andy through and through. He's the core songwriter, but it's just us taking those songs and be like, nah, fuck that here.
Yeah, we all kind of put our stuff on it this time.
Yeah.
So.
That's what's so exciting about this one too, is because it all comes together and gels, and it doesn't feel forced or like it's flipped on its head. It all fits very well because I think we all have good chemistry. It's good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know what's crazy is I didn't know during the 2016 album when it came out in October the Flying Raccoon Suit still makes a friend.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that like the band was still forming like in the middle of it. You know?
Right. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, that album was good, and it still has, it's good lyrics, and we played it well, but it's a shame that we only got her and Nevin halfway through making it because she recorded her first couple of songs on that. And the album was close to done, but then we're like, we have this incredible vocalist. Why don't we have her on more songs?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was on alto, I would say, for roughly half of that, and I actually temporarily moved to Washington State for about 6 months. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the first time you guys had Nevin join you guys on a show. Yeah. And then I came back, and I was like, what the hell is this? What's going on here? And I legitimately just like bought a tenor sax, and I was like, all right, he can come back. Okay, let's get this going. And then I started recording the rest of the songs on that tenor, which I'm still doing now.
Yeah, because I know like at some point in the middle of that album, of the 2016 album, you guys have it was like an interlude. I think it was called like "Flip the Switch."
Yeah.
And then like after that, it was like